Let's face it, microchips aren't exactly the sexiest topic. When you hear the word chip, your mind probably goes straight to that glorious crunchy snack you pair with salsa and guac. But in this case, we're talking about microchips, the tiny pieces of silicon that are quietly running basically everything in your life. Think of microchips as your silent, hard-working roommate, the one who pays all the bills on time and never clogs the sink with the dishes. Without them, your entire household of tech would fall apart faster than a game of Jenga during an earthquake. So why are these chips so important? Well, they're the brains behind every piece of technology you use. Your phone, your laptop, your car, even your smart toaster. Because apparently, we need to be able to toast bread from our phones now. They all rely on these chips to function. Imagine trying to make pizza without dough. Sure, you could still throw some cheese and pepperoni onto a plate, but you just have a sad, floppy mess. That's what your tech would be like without microchips. A lot of flashy hardware with absolutely no brains behind it. But here's the kicker. These chips don't just magically appear out of thin air. Nope. They're crafted with the precision of a brain surgeon who decided to moonlight as an artist. And that's where ASML comes in. ASML is like the master chef in the kitchen of the tech world. They don't make the chips, but they provide the tools that make it possible for the chip makers to create the masterpieces. Without ASML, companies like Intel, Samsung, and TSMC would be staring at blank silicon wafers, scratching their heads like a painter without a brush. And previously, I made a video on TSMC. You should go check that out. No ASML, no chips. No chips, no tech. No tech, and suddenly we're back to sending carrier pigeons and writing letters by candlelight. That's like the 1600s. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, but why should I care? It's not like ASML is directly putting a microchip in my phone. True, but let's say you're a fan of your phone not freezing every time you try to stream the latest episode of Stranger Things. Or maybe you enjoy your laptop not sounding like a jet engine whenever you open more than 3 browser tabs. That's me right now. My phone's freezing. Well, guess what? That's all possible because of the microchips that ASML's machines help create. If ASML decided to take a vacation tomorrow, the ripple effect would be felt in every corner of tech industry. Your phone would be slower, your computer would crash more often, and don't even get me started on what would happen to your Wi-Fi router. No more gaming, no more streaming, no more Zoom calls, although maybe the last one isn't such a bad thing. Now, let's dive a little deeper into why ASML is such a big deal. Picture this, you're at a party and someone brings out a cake that's so good. Everyone is suddenly best friends with the person who baked it. That's ASML. They've got the secret recipe and everyone wants the slice. But instead of cake, their recipes for machines that can etch possibly tiny circuits onto silicon wafers, which are then turned into the chips that power everything from your smartphone to the fancy electric car you can't afford, Tesla, Porsche. Here's the thing, making chips used to be a lot simpler. Back in the day, you could slap some circuits onto a chip the size of a postage stamp and call it a day. But as technology has gotten more advanced, the demand for smaller, faster, and more energy efficient chips has skyrocketed. It's like trying to stuff the contents of your entire apartment into a single suitcase and still make it under the weight limit for your flight. Easy, right? Well, ASML figured out how to do that. Their secret weapon, extreme ultraviolet EUV lithography. Sounds fancy, right? That's because it is. We're talking about technology that uses light beams with wavelengths as short as 13.5 nanometers to carve out circuits on a chip. To put that into perspective, a nanometer is 1/1000th of a meter, and 13.5 nanometers is about 100,000 times thinner than a human hair. It's like trying to write a novel on a grain of sand, except the novel is War and Peace and you're doing it with a laser beam. No big deal. Now, generating this UV light is a whole other level of insanity. It involves firing a laser at tiny droplets of liquid tin, because apparently lasers and molten metal are a thing, creating plasma that burns at temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. That plasma emits UV light, which is then bounced off some of the most precise mirrors ever made. Mirrors so smooth that if you scale them up to the size of a football field, the tallest bump would be smaller than a grain of sand. These mirrors focus the light with a pinpoint accuracy, allowing chip makers to etch billions of tiny transistors into a single chip. And ASML, they're the only company in the world that's figured out how to do this. So why should you care about this wizardry of light and lasers? Because without ASML's EUV machines, we'd hit a technological wall. Forget about faster phones or more powerful computers. Without these machines, we wouldn't be able to shrink the circuits any further, which means no more progress in making chips faster, smaller, or more efficient. It's like if NASA suddenly lost the ability to build rockets, sure, we still have airplanes, but good luck getting to Mars, SpaceX. Now, if you thought this was just about tech companies making faster gadgets, buckle up. because we're about to get into this geopolitical thing. You see, ASML's machines are so advanced and so important that entire countries are fighting over them. It's like the tech world's version of last slice of pizza at a party, except the pizza could control the future of global dominance. Let's start with the US and China. In this corner, we have US who's saying, hey ASML, we love what you're doing, but maybe don't sell your machine to China, okay? Why? Because microchips aren't just for smartphones and laptops, they're used in everything from AI systems to advanced military tech. And whoever controls the most advanced chip making technology holds a lot of power, both economically and militarily. It's like having the only recipe for a superfood that not only makes you smarter but also gives you super strength. The US doesn't want China getting their hands on that recipe, so they've slapped some pretty tough restrictions on ASML, preventing them from selling their most advanced EUV machines to Chinese companies. China, on the other hand, is not thrilled about this. They've been trying to ramp up their own chip making capabilities, but without access to ASML's technology, they're stuck playing catch up. Imagine trying to build a skyscraper with a hammer and nails while everyone else has power tools. Sure, you can still get the job done, but it's going to take a lot longer and the finished product might not be quite as shiny. Meanwhile, over in Taiwan, we have TSMC, and I've made a video about this on my last video, so you should go check that out. The world's largest and most advanced chip maker. TSMC is like the LeBron James of the semiconductor world. They're at the top of their game, and they rely heavily on ASML's machines to stay there. But Taiwan's relationship with China is, well, complicated. Given the geopolitical tensions between the two, TSMC's chip-making prowess isn't just an economic asset, it's a matter of national security. If something were to disrupt Taiwan's chip-making production, say a political conflict or natural disaster, the ripple effects would be felt across the globe. Suddenly, your phone upgrade would be the least of your worries. And then there's Europe, home to ASML. The Netherlands, where ASML is based, finds itself in a tricky position. On the one hand, ASML is a huge economic asset, and they're selling machines to some of the biggest companies in the world. On the other hand, the Dutch government has to navigate the delicate balance of international trade and security. Under pressure from the US, they've also restricted ASML from selling the EUV machines to China, which puts them right in the middle of this global tech tug-of-war. So why should you care about all this geopolitical drama? Because it affects everything from the price of your next smartphone to the future of artificial intelligence. The chips made with ASML's machines are essential for just about every industry you can think of, from healthcare to defense to renewable energy. If ASML suddenly stopped making these machines, or if access to them were restricted even further, the impact would be felt worldwide. It's like the world's oil supply suddenly dried up, except instead of fueling cars, these chips fuel the digital economy. So why does ASML matter to you? Yeah, you. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, I get it. ASML is important, but how does this really affect me? Well, let me put it this way. If you enjoy using your phone without freezing every 5 seconds, if you rely on your laptop not crashing in the middle of a Zoom call, if you like the idea of living in a world where AI and medical technology continue to improve, then yes, this affects you. ASML's machines are the linchpin holding the entire tech world together. So the next time you pick up your phone or hop into a car, give a little nod to ASML, because somewhere in the Netherlands, a team of engineers, scientists, visionaries is working tirelessly to make your gadgets keep running smoothly. They might not get the spotlight, but without them, we'd all be stuck in that digital dark ages. And trust me, nobody wants to go back to those days of a dial-up internet and flip phones. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, press the bell icon, and leave a comment down below if you like this kind of style of videos. Other than that, have a good one, take care, see ya.